Hey everybody, it's your girl, author and editor-in-chief of Impact Magazine, Tunisha Brown, coming to you today for my virtual book tour for my new book. I've got the tea that will get me to the juice. And I have here today my guest, oh my God, my guest that you all may know and you may not. I think you know her. She raised $10,000 in a month for her Kickstarter. She is an amazing person. She's taught people how to mobile up. Y'all get to know my girl, LaNee Javet, who is here, who thousands of folks just flock because they want to know how to level up and now live an upscale life. Is the CEO of Upscale, Noire. Go on, girl, let the people know.
Just kidding. Hey, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited to have this conversation, and I'm so proud of your authorship, shall we say. I even made some tea to prepare for today. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, today we're coming about the new book. The virtual book tour is basically explaining the book and also having a conversation on different things that is coming from the book, different components. And tonight, LaNee and I are going to be speaking about leveling up. The book takes you from different levels of knowing who you are, understanding your plan, understanding your purpose, owning your past, because your past is your past. Ooh. Nobody can take it from you. Nobody can hold it against you. All you can do is move forward and be a greater you, right?
Man.
So,
man.
When you come to the various different levels, it's going to require a new you. And sometimes we get complacent in the level and we get frustrated and come to a crossroad because we're at the new level where we know it's requiring a new us, we, me, but sometimes we don't want to do the work to stay at that level. Mm-hmm. So in the book, in the section, there's levels to this. Look, I'm matching.
Hey.
There's levels to this. It's talking about what the next level will cost you. Not necessarily money. Necessarily money. You know, it's going to cost you some time. If you're in business, you want to go to another level, you might want publicity, you might want marketing. But what this book is talking about is what it's going to cost you inside for you to level up to the level that you know you're coming to. I can give you an example. I did an event. I used to do, I don't know if you remember, I did cocktails and conversation all over the country and had big crowds everywhere. But I had did an intimate one in my hometown, Trenton. I used to always go every year, do an event there, always sell out. And I did one for about 100 ladies. And then I had followed it back up with a bigger event, with a bigger influencer, Ming Lee, brought her to Trenton, had like almost 400 people there. She was talking, it was a great interview that I thought, but the people didn't like the intimacy level that the first one gave. So I had to readjust the level I was at. It was like, try to find out what is it that they're requiring of me. All of those big things with the 300-400 people and all of that, that was where I was before. And now at this moment, the people wanted to hear me. They wanted to hear the conversation, but they wanted to be able to assess me at the end of the day and my guests. They wanted a sense of intimacy that I was not ready for that level. See what I'm saying? It's like I was still caught up into filling out 300-400 seat type of events, you know, just from talking. But the people was like, this new level is saying, no, you don't need that. We are requiring this of you. And so I had to step back and see and assess myself. Why did I not want to be with these people in this type of way? And I understood that I'm a private person. I had to get to know who I was at this level. I'm a private person. I don't mind giving accolades to other people. I don't mind talking about other people and their life and everything, just as long as y'all ain't talking about me.
You don't want to get yourself dragged.
No,
I mean,
so I had to understand.
I was gonna say, you dropped a lot of good points. And if somebody might not have heard what you said. What you said was you had 100 people in an intimate environment. And you thought that the value lied in the numbers,
right,
by having 300 to 400 people, when really people wanted to hear and see you show up.
right.
And a lot of times I think people do that. They think, I need more money, I need more people, I need a bigger email list, I need more influence, I need more before they can show up authentically, especially when you're talking about people trying to go from tea to juice. They don't think their tea is sweet enough. Right. And so what you said was super powerful, because once you stepped into your authenticity, and you were able to go from tea to juice, you were able to realize it's not the numbers that matter, it's how I show up, it's what I bring to people that matters.
It's me at the end of the day.
Yes.
Me who the people want. They want to hear my truth. They done got celebrities, they done received influencers for years, but at this level and at this time, they want to get to see you. And at that level, I was like, okay, I had to think about, and I put the components in the book. What is this going to cost me? At this level, what are the pros and cons? How is it going to affect me? You know, and one of the quotes in the book I have, you have to decide whether the cost is worth the price. So I had to think about it, you know, am I willing to lose a portion of things that I hold dear, which is my privacy? Is it worth it? Is it worth the price? And I said, yes, it was worth it, because so many people supported me, but they didn't know me. So they wanted to get to know me. And I fought a bit. And that's what in the book, I went through these different things to talk about, to get to that mindset of allowing people in to hear my story.
And everybody's cost is different. Again, you're dropping so many gems, and what you're talking about is so true with regards to levels and cost, right? So I'm going to write cost down. So hopefully, I'm 43. Sometimes I'll be forgetting what I want to say, but we'll start with levels. I believe that there's 10 levels. So there's 10 levels in life. And we all know that there's, 1 to 10, when somebody, how much pain do you have on a 1 to 10? Did I do a good job on a 1 to 10? So we know what 1 to 10 is, right? 1 is low, 10 is high. But I think it's a little bit deeper than that. I think we have our levels of 1 to 10, but on each level, there's 1 to 10. So sometimes I feel like I'm operating at a 7, but on a level 4. And I think people feel like I'm only a level 4. Like I'm not where I want to be. I'm only a level 4. Yeah, but on a level 7, like you killing the game. You're just not killing the game on that level the way that you want, which is why it's so important to understand what level of your level you're on. That's one thing. The second thing is what you said about cost. Cost is different for everybody. For you, it was privacy, it was getting uncomfortable, it was getting out of your own way. For somebody else, it might be financial. Are you going to put $2,000 down on this class so that you can learn what you need to get in the right position? It could be, are you going to walk away from this possessive relationship so you can get the freedom that you need so that you can live in your authentic self? For
Right.
someone else, I'll raise my hand and throw myself under the bus. It's walking away from my past and who I used to be and judging myself
Mhm.
instead of living in my authentic purpose and who I am today and being used and being a vessel and forgiving myself so that I can tell my story and not be ashamed by it.
Right.
Everybody has a cost, and you really have to determine, is it worth it?
Right. Is it worth it? And that's the thing that I find with a lot of people and this book, the people who bought it already,
Mm-hmm.
getting messages saying, wow, this is challenging me,
Oh,
making me look at me. Because it does. You can't just look at this book and think that you're going to, because everyone see the cover, they're like, oh, this is so cute. I'm gonna have some fun and we're going, no, boo, this is going to get with you. It is all about you. Whatever is going on out there in the world, when you come in and you got to look in that mirror and face yourself, this is about you, who you are, how you move, and the thing is, it's holding you accountable to move forward and be able and own your story. I'm a magazine owner. You know, I'm like, the biggest thing you can do is own your own story. Do not be ashamed of it. As long as you are moving forward, you're not hurting people, your integrity is intact, you learned from your mistakes, and you can move forward in all of those things. You
all
know,
right. So let's pass the collection plate. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my change in the collection plate. Again, you dropping gem. Whoever don't have this book, they need to get it. I just bought mine because I need to read it too. But you just said it. Own your story.
mm-hmm.
Stop running from your story.
Right.
Stop running from your lack of story. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
get the right education. Your father wasn't there. You didn't have the money. You were a bully. Like, don't run from that story.
Exactly.
Embrace it. And then look at where you are right now. Helping, I think, and I haven't actually read it, but just knowing you and just going by the title, I have the tea that will get you to the juice. We all have tea,
Mm-hmm.
but we try to hide it. We try to act like we don't have tea. We try to keep our own personal bones in the closet. So we don't want to tell
Right.
you our story because we want to show up like this,
Mm-hmm.
having it together.
Mm-hmm.
I only
Mm-hmm.
want you to know about my juice.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. I only want you to know about my juice. Don't
That's
talk
it.
about my tea. And what people don't realize, and I literally had a strategy session today on this very thing. So this is so appropriate because today I just cleaned up all my tears so I could get on here with you. But we try to distance ourselves and separate ourselves from our tea.
Right.
And if you think about an Arnold Palmer, it's tea and lemonade. It's tea and juice. Like, that's what makes it good, is you have to have a little bit of both.
Both
You
in
can't
order.
just separate yourself from your tea because your tea is what gets you to the juice.
That's it. I've got the tea. No, and I start off the workbook as saying, nobody knows the tea about you but you. Everybody have their own version of whatever story, but you own your story. You know, and your tea, which is the truth of who you are, gets you to the juice. It gets you to your goal. It gets you all of those things that you need in order to move forward and own it. You got to own it. You got to own it. Not calling you to perfection, not calling you to all of these things, but own, I almost curse, but own it, you know? Because there's nothing wrong with owning it. Own your story.
I got a hashtag for you. I'm emotional because as you're speaking, I'm like, man, my tea makes me juicy.
I like
My tea
that.
makes me juicy. Like, what I've been through, what I've experienced, what I've been running from, what I've been trying to hide, all of that is what has gotten me to being juicy. It's the reason why people want to talk to me. It's the reason why people ask me to speak and to show up. It's the reason why I
Exactly.
teach. My tea made me juicy.
And if you own your story, especially entrepreneurs, because we're in a time nowadays where people want to know who, what, when, why, where, how.
How?
Care. They're not buying into, you can have my cover is the bomb.
I love it.
I want to know who I am first before they go ahead. They have to trust you. They have to trust your brand.
Let me ask you this. What inspired you to write the book?
Let me tell you, my son inspired me to write this book. One day I was having a conversation with him, right? He's in college, just went away to college. And it was a couple of months into it. And we were talking on the phone and he was kind of down and saying, you know, how life was, you know, not giving him what he thought he expected. Mm-hmm. I said, what are you thinking? And I said, first of all, you're a procrastinator. Life showing up for you like this. And you're a procrastinator. And more we talked, I said, you know what? You don't know who you are. If you own procrastination, then you would really accept it and then work towards either getting better at not being a procrastinator or know your procrastinator and plan.
Or managing your procrastination?
Manage your procrastination. But then let me tell you, it goes deeper. I finished talking to him now, and then it then revert back to how I was feeling when he first went to college. And I got back home that same day and I was like, okay, now girl, what you gonna do? And I'm like, what am I gonna do? It hit me like, cause I was sitting there in the thought like, oh my God, what am I gonna do for my life? And I'm like, it hit me like, ma'am, do you know you have a magazine, you have thousands of people that you speak to every day, you have these events, you do all this stuff all across the country. That moment I didn't know who I was because my life was wrapped up in being a mom, and a business owner, but me, Tunisha, was left out of that. So I had to figure out who I was in this moment. Oh. Okay, now since Jai's out of college, my son is very independent. I was like, he's more independent. You know, this is what you can do for yourself. This is who you are in this moment. Now you can give more time to magazine, yourself, blah, blah, blah. And I said, damn, I wonder how many people. First, I thought about all of the empty nesters. At first, empty nesters, because, you know, when our kids, especially if you're a single parent and, you know, your kids go away to school or go off and be grown. Yep. But then I thought, you know, make it a broader, for a broader audience and ask them, what are you doing for you? Do you know who you are? So when that life-changing moment that, like right now, we're in COVID, we're in this, you know, situation as being Black folks, how are you adjusting and knowing who you are? Because we have so much information coming and to be grounded to know that we know what is right for us and how we move, you know? So that is what, that's what started this whole thing. And I sat down a weekend and said, I'm gonna do this. And
you wrote the book in a weekend?
In a weekend. I committed.
Yeah, that's how you know when it's God. That's how you know when it's for a
Listen, that's when, cause honey, I designed it. I didn't design the cover, but I did design the inside of the book. And it was, I just sat there and it just all came together. And it would just, and it's portions in there where you can take notes. And on this one, on the leveling part, it talks, when I talk about the cost, it says, take a moment to reflect on what this level will cost you. Remember, everything is not about money, and you're able to list the costs, you know? And so when I thought about, wow, I could do that, I could have them do this, talk about their purpose, how the past is past, it just all fell in line.
That is so amazing, man. And so I would assume, right? I would assume that so many people should be able to relate to that. As you're talking, I'm over here like, yes, yes. We're both mothers. We both have sons. We're both empty nesters. We're single parents with only one child.
Right.
And I don't think people think about what that means as a mother with one child. You literally lose yourself and your identity in that child. My son always says to me, I can't wait for you to get in a relationship, or I don't want you to grow old with cats.
Girl.
What have you been doing? I'm like, I've been taking care of you for the last 18 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't assume that a man wants to come second. Like, I'm clear that you are my first priority. I've been clear on that. I knew the cost, and it was worth it to me to put you first. I knew the cost, and you were my priority. And now having to reconnect with myself, refine myself. Who am I as a business? Well, I know who I am as a businesswoman. Who am I as a woman?
Right.
Not a mother.
Oh, wait. Let's put a pin in that. That's key, because you know who you are as a businesswoman. Remember, I told you when I sat there and I was like, what am I going to do? I wasn't asking about the business. I was asking about me personally, because we lose ourselves. You know yourself as a mom. You know who you are as a mom. You know who you are as a businesswoman. Do you know LaNee?
Oh,
I didn't know Tunisha.
It's work, and it's work.
And that's why this is challenging for folks.
Bam! That's 1-2 punch. So what do you want people to walk away from with the book? What do you want them to, like, what processes does it take a person through? What should they expect when they buy the book and read the book? Because most people buy books and don't read it. So if you have to buy the book and read it, what do they walk away with?
They're going to walk away with so much confidence in who they are as people in this moment and in this time. It's not about yesterday. Like, if you're thinking of like COVID and how we're trying to get back to the way things were, they're not going back to the way things were. You should not want them to go back to the way things were. You should know that there's a change, and everything else is changing out there, and you're on this new level. That old way of thinking and old way of being is no more. You walk away confident in knowing who you are today, confident with a plan, because this book don't just say, okay, who are you? Okay, good, you know yourself, and glad for that. No, walk away with, at the end of the book, the implementation. So let's go through the whole book. The first thing is about you, which is the truth of you. Go through that. And then you talk about what was the purpose of your past, and you go through exercises on that. And then you
put a pin there. Put a pin there. Put a pin there. Say that one again. You go through the, what was the word?
Exercises of.
You said purpose.
Yeah.
You go through the purpose.
Right.
Of your past.
You go through your past. Yeah.
Tell somebody what that means, because a lot of times we don't connect our past to our purpose.
Right. Because at that, you don't understand your purpose. Like when I was saying back then, what my purpose at that time was building a magazine and taking care of my son and making money. When I sat down to assess, and I'm like, okay, that was the purpose of the past. Right now, I am a mom whose son is in college. And what is my purpose now with me, and also with this magazine? Because before it was really, you're making an impact, you're doing all these things, you're making great money, you raised your son with it, you did all this, you have so many great people on the cover, your son is great, graduated school, but now incorporate yourself into what you're doing. And the purpose that you had in the past is not the purpose that serves you right now. And so that's what we go over in the book. You are
preaching. Okay,
I'm sorry.
I had to pull that piece out, because I know regardless of if somebody wants to admit it or not, they're struggling with that.
Right. And that's a lot of things that people, you know, this book is 100 pages. I have people who bought the book in pre-sales and all that that still haven't completed because it's going to make you sit down and really truly think. If you go through all of these exercises, you are going to be good. You're going to walk up out knowing who you are. You're going to understand your purpose in this time. You're going to understand why things are flowing the way that they are. You're going to understand what level you're at. You're going to understand what it's costing you. You're going to understand what impact it'll have on the people around you. You're going to understand and implement a plan. You know, you're going to develop a strategic plan for where you are going forward, not with the past, not with anything else, but where you're going forward in this moment and in this time.
You know what, too, Tanisha, as you're talking, and I mean, I'm already emotional. I told you I had a session today where I had to talk about some of this stuff. But as you're talking, I'm thinking about just where we are in the world today at the time of this recording, because I don't know when somebody will watch this later. But at the time of the recording, with the protests and, you know, just everything that's going on right now, and you talked about our past. And what people have to realize is that the past will keep coming back to haunt you until you deal with it. It doesn't matter if we're talking about racism, equality, daddy issues, love issues, bad choices issues. It does not matter what it is. The rooster will come home if you don't address it. So, and I coach on this. If you're every 2 years you're getting a new job, there's a pattern. If your relationships aren't working right, if you're getting opportunities but you're saying no, these all have to do with something that is in your past that you have not addressed that needs to be dealt with. So if you really want to get to the next level, if you really want to push through, if you really say that you want to go from A to B, you have to address those things. And sometimes people don't know how to address them. So having a book like yours with exercises that walks a person through, that's valuable. Right. So if somebody is struggling and they don't know how to go from A to B, or they don't know how to push through, man, y'all better get this. Y'all better get the tea that'll get you to the juice. Y'all playing games around this joint. You better get on it. Matter of fact, I'm going to sponsor a book. I bought one today, but I'm also going to sponsor a book. I'm just going to buy a second book, and you can give it to someone who may need it, somebody who might want to support you but don't have the finances to do it, but you know they need the help. I'm going to buy another book. Awesome. That's so nice. Thank you. I know how important it is. And I'm 43, and it's taken me this long to be able to say, hey, I got some issues I need to deal with and work through.
Listen. I got my own book and I'm working in it. Like, girl, I need my own kind of help. Every day, I'm going through it in my brain. I sit, you know, I'm developing I'm at a new level. I switched out my living room space and my office space. I just changed it all around, and you know, I'm doing more health stuff. This is a whole new thing for me, you know. Because it is who I am at this moment, taking my health more seriously, you know, making sure I drink my green juices and making sure, know why? Because they said COVID-19 is out here. You know, and then understanding I'm already an observant person and understanding and going in crowds and all this kind of stuff. We are at a new level in life. So it's requiring a new us. So we have to be able to comprehend and understand that it's not going back to the past. Yesterday is yesterday, it's new today. Tomorrow is going to take care of itself. But let's get with who we are in this moment and in this time. And this book going to help you.
Man, I just got put up on this quote from Nikki Giovanni that says, I turned myself into myself. And it's like my new mantra. Like, to your point, what you just said is a lot of times we keep trying to go back to a time when life was good, or
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're a business owner. I remember when I made my first $10,000. What did I do? You
Listen.
keep trying to go back to, what was I doing? How did I make that money? How was I progressing? How was I dating? How was I meeting all these people? You keep trying to go back, but that ship has sailed. That time is gone. Who are you today? Who do you want to be tomorrow? How do you want to be move forward? How can you turn
Mhm.
yourself into yourself?
Right.
How can you, uh, shameless plug, you gotta know what tea will get you to the juice.
Right. And your juice is your goal. You all
Mhm.
understand that. And the juice that you contain, your story is going to propel you, honey. If you get around people who have an issue with that, then they're not your people. That's it. We
Say
have
that again
to
for the people in the back. Trying to impress the wrong
with
folks.
that. So many people are not comfortable in understanding that you're not going to please everybody, and it might be the folks that you want to please, but they might not be your folks.
Mm,
You know? So I'm good.
yes.
Good with me. I'm good with who I am. I'm good with who rock with me, and I'm good with those who don't, because I don't rock with everybody. You know
Mm,
what I mean? But because I know who I am, and if it doesn't align with who I am as a person, then I'm good with not rocking with you. I'm going to respect you and keep it moving, and that's just it.
yes.
Yeah, mess. So LaNee, I just want to thank you so much for this time. Tell people where they can get in contact with you at, so that they could mogul up in an upscale noir kind of way.
First, let me just say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for having me, for including me. I super, super, super appreciate it. I definitely rocks with you. I think that you are making an impact. I think your brand is dope. I think outside from your brand, just you as a woman, as a business
Oh,
owner,
thanks.
as a human being, I think that you are dope, and the impact that you're making in the world is just amazing. So let me lead with that. And then if somebody wants to follow little old me, because I know you, they can find me at my name, which is LaNee Javet. My handle is I am LaNee Javet. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. My website is www.laneejavet. Or if you go to my business website, it's Upscale Noire, which is upscale and then Noire.com.
Everybody follow her. She is so dope. Just amazing, inspiring person. So, and y'all know I wouldn't have anybody on my platform who ain't, oh Lord, who isn't. Because my people know I say ain't. Her
I
people,
say ain't. I'm
oh,
about to put up a quote in a minute that says I'm a. IMMA. I'm a. And I wrote it that way. I'm a.
see, so this is why I just had to have her air today, coming to you all with the book during this time, and for the virtual book tour. And she loves Black folks. Her platform is all about Black folks. So you know me, power to the people for real. In real life.
Real life. Hashtag.
So thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to come together again. We may do a live or something on the impact thing, so we can get questions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to come in an intimate setting and speak about the book in the terms that we can have our conversation and talk from experience and love for the people, and give you our understanding and take on I've got the tea that will get me to the juice. Y'all have a good night. Thank you so much, and talk with you guys soon.